brought to you by Penguin.
An Officer and a Spy by Robert Harris. Read by David Rintoul. Author's note. This book aims to use the techniques of a novel to retell the true story of the Dreyfus affair, perhaps the greatest political scandal and miscarriage of justice in history, which in the 1890s came to obsess France and ultimately the entire world. It occurred only 25 years after the Germans had crushed the French in the War of 1870 and occupied the territories of Alsace and Lorraine, the seismic shock to the European balance of power that was the precursor of the First and Second World Wars. None of the characters in the pages that follow, not even the most minor, is wholly fictional, and almost all of what occurs, at least in some form, actually happened in real life. Naturally, however, in order to turn history into a novel, I have been obliged to simplify, to cut out some figures entirely, to dramatise, and to invent many personal details. In particular, Georges Picquart never wrote a secret account of the Dreyfus affair, nor did he place it in a bank vault in Geneva with instructions that it should remain sealed until a century after his death. But a novelist can imagine otherwise. Robert Harris, Bastille Day, 2013. Part 1. Chapter 1. Major Picquart to see the Minister of War. The sentry on the Rue Saint-Dominique steps out of his box to open the gate, and I run through a whirl of snow across the windy courtyard into the warm lobby of the Hôtel de Brienne, where a sleek young captain of the Republican Guard rises to salute me. I repeat with greater urgency, Major Picquart to see the Minister of War. We march in step, the captain leading, over the black and white marble of the minister's official residence, up the curving staircase, past suits of silver armour from the time of Louis the Sun King, past that atrocious piece of imperial kitsch, David's Napoleon crossing the Alps at the Col du Grand Saint-Bernard, until we reach the first floor, where we halt beside a window overlooking the grounds, and the captain goes off to announce my arrival, leaving me alone for a few moments to contemplate something rare and beautiful, a garden made silent by snow in the centre of a city on a winter's morning. Even the yellow electric lights in the War Ministry, shimmering through the gauzy trees, have a quality of magic. General Mercier is waiting for you, Major. The minister's office is huge and ornately panelled in duck-egg blue, with a double balcony over the whitened lawn. Two elderly men in black uniforms, the most senior officers in the Ministry of War, stand warming the backs of their legs against the open fire. One is General Raoul de Mouton de Boisdeffre, Chief of the General Staff, expert in all things Russian, architect of our burgeoning alliance with the new Tsar, who has spent so much time with the imperial court he has begun to look like a stiff-whiskered Russian count. The other, slightly older, at 60, is his superior, the Minister of War himself, General Auguste Mercier. I march to the middle of the carpet and salute. Mercier has an oddly creased and immobile face, like a leather mask. Occasionally I have the odd illusion that another man is watching me through its narrow eye-slits. He says in his quiet voice, "Well, Major Picquart, that didn't take long. What time did it finish?" "Half an hour ago, General." "So it really is all over?" I nod. It's over. And so it begins. "Come and sit down by the fire," orders the minister. He speaks very quietly, as he always does. He indicates a gilt chair. "Pull it up. Take off your coat. Tell us everything that happened." He sits poised in expectation on the edge of his seat, his body bent forwards, his hands clasped, his forearms resting on his knees. Protocol has prevented him from attending the morning's spectacle in person. He is in the position of an impresario who has missed his own show. He hungers for details, insights, observations, colour. "What was the mood on the streets, first thing?" "I would say the mood was expectant." I describe how I left my apartment in the pre-dawn darkness to walk to the École Militaire, and how the streets, to begin with at least, were unusually quiet, it being a Saturday.
Sample complete.
Ready to continue?